we have made one circle up to now, going through all the fundamental dimensions of realization in our inner reality. We have simplified the teaching in a way that it suits the most the needs of human beings on the spiritual path. Still, the teaching is rather rich and has its challenges. Still, deep work required. Enlightenment has no end. Evolution has no end. We live in a plane which has its limitations. And its advantages. It's unique. It's like the Middle Earth of existence. So enlightenment is endless, and we need to ask ourselves what it is that we need to attain in our evolution in that human body. What are our priorities? Our priority is not to reach everything, which is impossible, but to become, in that body, whole. And to actually enter this body. But in order to become whole, we need to touch upon all these dimensions of existence that reflect the nature of the universal reality of God, because they are all inside us. They are not just in God, they are all inside us. Consciousness, being, heart, they are all in the universal reality. They are all in the nature of the universal reality. We need to realize them in order to become whole, because even if one is not realized, an important part of God is missing inside us, preventing us from becoming whole. And then we have the unique emotional evolution, which is specific to us, beings existing on this plane. And in that evolution as well, we need to come to the realization of wholeness, which requires an emotional awakening and embodiment. It's an important term, emotional embodiment. And coming to the realization of emotional peace, because only through the realization of emotional peace, our emotional body and mind as well can be integrated into the nature of pure subjectivity and into love. Without that peace, our emotions will be always in friction with feeling love. There is a point in our evolution where our emotional existence, when it's truly deepened, crosses over into love. Because for human being, emotional evolution is in fact a gateway to love. Love represents the highest emotional awakening, after all. You need to recognize that everything that was spoken of in this retreat is inside you. There's nothing abstract about that. Such as when seekers pursue the fantastic idea of enlightenment, it's all abstract. Often simply imaginary. And if anything, it refers to moving away and away from this reality into safety of transcendence, where one is no longer needing to suffer as a human. But what we are speaking of here is inside you, is not in the far, far beyond. It's in this body. It's in your human intimate reality. But even though it is not in the beyond, it is hidden within you, and it has to be revealed by going deep into you. It exists in intimate closeness to you, but is hidden inside you. So we are certainly on the path of self-realization, but we are not escaping from ourselves. We are realizing ourselves through ourselves. And we are discovering God within ourselves. We are realizing the nature of God in the nature of the soul. And we are certainly moving beyond the limitations of this reality. In that sense, we are as well on the path of transcendence, but we are transcending through immanence. The essence of transcendence is nothing but surrender and non-resistance. That sense of separate self created in this dimension is based on resistance to everything that is outside of it. And from the ultimate perspective, resistance to God. That is how that self endures in the plane of separation. Through surrender and letting go of resistance, we are not denying our individuality, we are just transcending our separation. And we are realizing higher individuality, the one that can exist in unity with everything and yet still remain individual, unique. The concept of enlightenment, seen as a denial of individuality, denial of our sense of me, denial of our human nature, is born out of desire to escape from reality. But it is a very important lesson for a human being is to have respect for one's individuality, have respect for our individual sense of me, and respect for this body. Because if you do not respect these things, you do not honor what God has given you. And you do not honor your incarnation. And honoring that is the first step in your spiritual journey. It's no surprise that people want to escape, because there's much suffering in this reality, and evolution is difficult, and everyone is lost. But escape is not the way. Because there is nowhere to escape. On the contrary, what we need to do is to incarnate. And that's the basic idea behind the concept of conscious incarnation. We need to incarnate. Because we are not really here. We are in between. When human beings are born, they are in a bardo state. They're in a state in between. That's why we need to incarnate, to be here, to be where we were intended to be, in this body. So the majority of human suffering is not because we are here, but on the contrary, it is because we are not here. It's not because we are in the body, but because we are not in the body. So transcendence is not an escape from here, it is coming here, entering here, being 100% here, in this body. Understanding all of that should help you to change your very perception of the spiritual path, to reform it. Align it with truth, so that your spiritual path will become real and true. And you should feel that truth now, in this moment.